Hello, and welcome back to the Finding Your channel. My name is Uwe, and today we are playing Escape from Wormwood. And this game is about mice. So I've chosen to take the liberty to alter reality a bit to reveal my full form, which is that of rat. Because yes, I am actually a rat. I just never use my ears since I'm undercover in a way. Maybe I will do lore in someday in a short or in a video, I don't know, I will see. Anyways, this game fortunately has like content warnings right in the game, so I don't have to Google it. So, we have blood, gore, destructive cults, and cannibalism. This game is about cults. So, if any of that is no good for you, maybe click off the video right now. If you don't mind, then hope you will enjoy it. Let's start. When you come to, you're in a strange and unfamiliar dark room. Your stomach aches and you feel nauseous. Thick ropes bind your chest tightly, but they aren't the source of your pain. You remember now. Several days ago, you left on a research expedition into the rainforest with two of your colleagues. Forced to do a little foraging on the way back, the three of you ingested some berries that you were sure now were poisonous. Your colleagues sit beside you, unmoving. The air smells like metal. Check surroundings, think about how you got here, try to wake the others. Can I save? Yes, I can. Okay, first thing you should always do, check your surroundings. You squint hard, willing your eyes to adjust to the lack of light. You would almost guess it must be late in the day, maybe even night, if not for the stream of light tracing a single door frame. A small window sits in the upper center of this door, papered over with grime and dust. The bars over it remind you of a prison cell. The room itself is rather sparse. A large wooden table stands in the far corner against the wall near the door. Besides the table is a pile of things. You can't tell exactly what the pile consists of, but it might be your belongings. The floor beneath you is damp, with dark puddles that you might refuse to register as blood. These puddles ebb towards a grated drain. If you were to vomit, which you feel very inclined to do, you guess it would be drained as well. Think about how you got here, try to wake the others. Let's think first how we got here. To help stave off your panic, you try to think of everything you know for certain. You're an anthropologist. You came to a foreign land to study ancient civilizations and learn more about the various cultures in the region. Accompanying you on your journey is a fellow researcher whose work you have admired for years, and a cultural expert who was supposed to act as your translator and guide. Unfortunately, this expert had faked his credentials, leading you to believe he was far more knowledgeable than he actually was. Soon enough, it became obvious he had gotten the two of you completely lost. Then there was a physical altercation that resulted in losing the bulk of your supplies. The three of you, now fighting for survival, had decided to risk ingesting what seems like perfectly safe berries. You succumbed to the poison, lost consciousness, and woke up here. Let's try to wake the others. Pete! You whisper urgently to the witch beside you, but she doesn't respond. Squirming against your restraints, you attempt to lean your head on her chest to listen for a heartbeat. After a few moments, you're sure you can hear one faintly, despite distracting pounding on your own chest. Wait, I will turn the music down just a slight bit because I think it's a bit too loud. The current state of the rat beside her is something you won't be able to confirm for yourself. Oh, a rat too! Like me! Oh my god. The door suddenly opens, startling you back into an upright position. You shut your eyes tightly to shield them from the harsh daylight. A masked being has entered the room. It's cute. I like it. It's very cute. I like the little smile there. They approach. Your eyes remain locked on them the entire time, but they move past you and over to the rat. Their stature is that of a child's. But that's typical of a mouse, you think. When they pull out a knife, you pray that it isn't a child at all. And when they lift the rat's arms and glide the blade down, you pray that it's a sadistic adult acting alone. Because if they are a lone murder in a jungle, that gives you the greatest chance of escape. If it's a child acting within a group, not only do you have no chance, but it's also horrific and heartbreaking and bleak. As the blood drains from the rat who doesn't deserve this, you swallow, dizzy, and try your best to remain calm. Say something, you fool. Okay, let's save. Beg for your life, ask who they are, tell them to stop. Let's ask who they are, because I'm really curious. Why are you doing this? You're able to say firmly, but the mouse ignores you. Let me go, please. I'm just a researcher. I won't report this. I'll never return here, please. I will do anything. Of course, they can't understand you. That's what a translator was for. But he's not waking up now. The mouse pulls a cloth from their pocket to wipe the knife. Once it's clean, they look to you for a long moment. You think desperately how you can convey to them that you mean them no harm and that you only want to go home. But instead, the nausea you've been staving off comes to a head thanks to the inescapable smell of your colleague's blood. You lean forward and vomit helplessly onto the floor. It flows towards the drain after all. The ground must be slightly slanted here. The three of you were placed in this room in such a way that your blood, vomit, or any other bodily excretions would go right down the drain. They planned for you to bleed for them. They brought you here for the purpose of being drained. And now you only feel more sick. The mouse kneels down in front of you. Their rubber rain boots squeak lightly as they move. When you look up at their face, the mask, they bring the soiled cloth to the sides of your mouth, dabbing the mess away. You would almost believe it was a small kindness if not for the faint taste of blood on your lips. The mouse seems to study your face for a moment, but you can only stare back in stunned silence. What use are words if this mouse can't seem to understand you anyway? They stand, then open the door to leave. You hang your head as the despair of your situation hits you in a wave. You sit there sobbing in the darkness as you listen to the slow drip of the drain in front of you. Day 2. The witch besides you still hasn't woken up. Pete is much older than you with a weaker constitution. As a witch, you expected she would be a little sturdier, but apparently not. Being able to use magic doesn't guarantee protection from poison. Her specialty lies in photography, not medicine. What fucking witch is like doing photography? Like, what the fuck? Why would you study that shit as a witch? Or why would you specialize in it? Like, just become a photograph. She isn't wounded though, at least not in any obvious way. It isn't her blood that stains the floor where you sit. The only one the mouse used to have cut into the fur is the red moss. Let's save again. Think of a way out, think about the red, think about the witch. Let's think about the witch first. Pete is employed by the very same institution as you are. She's well known within her field, undeniably skilled with decades of experience. You're honestly excited to get to work with her, until you realize she was surprisingly old-fashioned, viewing the cultures you studied as uncivilized and beneath her. Oh, so she's a cunt. She exploded at Moss once his incompetence was made clear. You tried to get between them, and your supplies were lost in the scuffle. If she had kept calm, you could have worked together to find a way back to the path marked on your map. You want to blame her, but you were angry at the rep's deception too. Morale was completely shot by the time you gave in and tried these berries. Of everything you could have eaten, the berries were... none of you asked to end up in this situation. Let's think about the rat. You spent most of the previous night reflecting on everything that happened. At first, it was easy to pin everything on Moss. If you had hired anyone else, you might not be here right now. There's no question about it. But this job paid well compared to other work being offered in the area. You must have been highly incentivized to lie in order to take it. It's unfortunate that his decision endangered the lives of all three of you, but maybe he really thought of himself as capable enough. At the very least, it wasn't the kind of mistake you believe he should die for, though Pete certainly disagrees. You tried to keep her from killing him, only for the three of you to end up here. And now he's... You can't think about Moss any longer. Think of a way out. You need to think of a way out. It's probably too late for Moss, but if you could just untie yourself and Pete. The ropes refuse to loosen themselves, no matter which direction you bend your torso. Without something sharp to cut through the fibers, you will be stuck like this. You lean your full weight onto Pete again, as if you've continued to do throughout the night. Pete, please, wake up. You hate having to face this alone. Even if this witch were to only offer unpleasant remarks, at this point you would accept them with full gratitude. The door opens again for the first time since yesterday. The sudden sound of heavy rain causes you to jolt, but you remain frozen, lying against Pete's shoulder. The mouse is here again. Is it the same one as before? Judging by the stature, you imagine it must be. They walk past you and over to Moss. They pull out the knife again. You can't bring yourself to watch this time. You only wish you could cover your ears. That way, you wouldn't have to hear the sounds of flesh and muscle parting, of his blood pouring out from his severed veins and splattering loudly onto the floor. Why are you doing this? please. You cry because you can't think of anything else to do. You can't just sit there and wait for your turn to be flayed. But you can't move and the mouse won't listen to you, so you sit there whimpering until you hear a loud thud. Finally open your eyes to see Moss' corpse, a misshapen lump on the floor. Even in this low light you can tell. What once was human skin has become coarse fur. A quirk of animal folk, they return to their bestial form upon death. Having forgotten that, you realize you must have been alive and unconscious until now. Okay. Save. We could either panic or remain calm. I want to remain calm, because panic won't help anything in the situation, I presume. Your mind is racing, but you shut every single of those thoughts out in order to survive. Moss is dead, but your position is unchanged. You have to escape. The mouse begins dragging the larger rat's body across the room, inch by inch. You're breathing hard, but as you watch this tiny mouse struggle to move the heavy corpse, you almost feel bad for them. That's when you finally think of something you can do. Hey, untie me. The mouse stays focused on their task. He's heavy, right? Untie me and I can help you move the body. You almost can't believe what you're saying. Your shaky breath steadies the more you talk. It's so sad watching you try to move him alone. Please, can I help you? The mouse stops to look at you. Their masked face sends a chill down your spine, worried that being able to read the expression would feel even worse. You have their attention. You have to commit to this now. Why are you moving him? I can help you. I promise I will help, but I can only do that if you untie me. And you can untie me. You can tie me up again afterwards, of course. I'll cooperate. Please. Just want to help. The mouse steps over the rat's body and kneels in front of you, the same as they did when you vomited yesterday. I'm not supposed to talk to you. Your eyes light up. She can understand you after all. Her voice sounds young and feminine. This is a child being forced to do horrible things by some monster. You can talk her into releasing you. You have to. It's the only path forward. I won't talk. I will just lift. It's just so sad watching you. I can't bear it. She draws her knife, and for a moment you think she's about to silence you for good. But instead, she cuts through a piece of rope. I'd like to move this to the table. You do as the mouse commands. Day 3. Pete woke up last night. You filter in on everything that happened. Moss's death. Your masked captor. Left at the part where you convinced the mouse to untie you. You pretend she didn't say a word to you. You hadn't said anything more to her either, and even let her tie you up again in the end, as promised. Pete would only scorn you for not putting up more of a fight if she knew. Although, she's still rather delirious and weak. She ate a large share of the berries, now that you think of it. You don't know how much she will fight back, or if she'll be able to help you at all. Talk to Pete, think about what happened to Moss, think of what to do next. Let's talk to Pete. Pete, are you still awake? Yes. The level of annoyance in her voice is far higher than usual. You imagine she's in a lot of pain. We should try come up with a solid escape plan, don't you think? That's what I've been thinking ever since waking up. Not interrupt me again if you want to live. Like you're in any position to do anything to me. It doesn't seem like she's willing to coordinate with you. That's fine. It's exactly why you've already set your own plan in motion. You can't depend on each other. But escaping together, if at all possible, would be ideal. You don't like her, but leaving the switch behind would haunt you for the rest of your life. You're sure Moss's death will too. Think about what will happen to Moss. You can't get the image of what the mouse did yesterday out of your head. After hoisting Moss's corpse up onto the table, she thanked you before tying you up again. And then she went to work, dismembering the corpse. Completely terrified, you tried to keep your eyes on the floor, but that didn't save you from the slapping sound of meat chunks being stacked high into a pile. A rat was butchered meters away from where you sat. She cut into his flesh for hours on end, and you sat there and watched. You watched, and you wondered who taught this child her technique. You wondered how many bodies she had done this to, how many people she calmly sliced into unrecognizable chunks before now. To what end was Moss flayed, and which one of you was next on the chopping block? You watched, thinking hard about these things until the mouse finished her work and carried those pails full of meat out of the room. You wish you could do something to put a stop to all of this. Think of what to do next. Your ropes aren't as tight as they were before. You've tried squirming around again, but you haven't gotten them to budge. Still, they're a little less uncomfortable. Your muscles are stiff from being stuck in one position on the floor. You wonder if the mouse would be willing to leave you untied in this room. The door is locked anyway. You need to earn more of her trust. At the very least, you would rather Pete be the one to be drained next. Same. I don't like Pete. The door opens and the mouse enters the room. Let us go. We can pay. Do you understand? Pete speaks quietly in a demanding tone, but the mouse ignores her as expected. What is it you want? Food? Wealth? I won't be made into a ritual sacrifice. We can make this worth your while. The mouse kneels down before the witch and holds the knife to her skin. Pete flails in panic, knocking the knife from her hands. It slides across the floor towards the drain, but doesn't fall in. Oops. The mouse calmly collects her knife. You're silent, thinking desperately of a way to delay her further. Loam told me all about how you butchered that rat. You collected his meat for what? Are you cannibals, or do you toss the remains in a pit to appease your god, you fucking savages? Okay, yeah, she's a fucking cunt. I don't like her. Maybe she deserves what's coming for her. She falls over to where Moss once sat, flailing dangerously again as the mouse takes slow steps towards her. An idea comes to mind. Offer to help to kill her? Swallow hard before asking. Would you like some help again? Pete stops flailing at once. You can feel both of them staring at you, but your eyes are fixed under your captor's mask. The mouse nods. Okay. Damn. I didn't expect that to happen. Pete refused to speak to you. You tried to explain that you only held her down like that as part of your ploy to earn the mouse's trust. You got results. You convinced her that she didn't need to trouble herself with tying ropes around your whole body. So today, it's just your hands that are tied. You've been able to pace about the room, which feels much better than sitting on the hard floor. Your odds of survival are slowly increasing. You don't worry about Pete's blood spilling down the drain. She's weakened, but still alive. The cut was far from fatal. Talk to Pete, search the room, think about what to do next. Let's talk to Pete first. You didn't need to call them savages, you know? Pete gives you a silent glare. It's offensive. If they were city mice, you would call them murderers, right? So just say murderers. Loam. You are for once relieved to hear her voice. Yes? I do not need your lecture on political correctness when I'm bleeding out because of you. No, it would have happened regardless, so you purse your lips. Sorry. Let's search the room. Though you can't do much with your hands tied behind your back, you were able to confirm your few things about this room. 1. There's no way out. The door's locked, the small window in the upper center of it is barred, and there doesn't seem to be any other exit. 2. The pile of things next to the table does indeed contain your belongings. You thought as much on the first day you woke up here, and you're happy to learn that they weren't thrown out or being stored somewhere you wouldn't be able to recover them. You weren't able to open your bag on your own. You're too afraid to move anything too far out of its place anyway. If only your hands weren't tied, you could dig through your belongings to find something sharp enough to use as, well, a means to escape. Either to untie Pete or as a weapon you hopefully wouldn't have to use on a living person. Let's think of what to do next. You rack your brain trying to figure out your next move, but it's hard to think on an empty stomach. Or will I also be a cannibal? You've been running on adrenaline these past few days and your nerves are completely shot. You were, at the very least, given some water yesterday, both you and Pete. They seem to want to keep you alive for a little longer, but you aren't sure exactly why or for how long. Maybe you will be able to get some answers today. You decide to make that your goal. The little mouse returns. You move back to your place next to Pete and show of cooperation. When she kneels and draws her knife, Pete interjects with a level of composure you are shocked to hear from someone crumbled, bound and bleeding on the floor. Mouse, you should be cutting him instead. You almost can't believe your ears. How does she expect to have any chance of escaping if you're both weak from blood loss? She's such a cunt. Why me? The mouse pauses to hear her out. You want to cry. He's trying to trick you. He's gaining your trust a little at a time before taking that knife from you and You're almost relieved when your little mouse brings the blade down and pierces her flesh. You feel awful about it, but it spares you another day. I don't feel awful about it at all. Can I ask you a question? The mouse cleans the blade against the cloth as she always does. We're not supposed to talk. I just want to know your name. Hearing her call you Mouse, I felt sad I didn't know your name. She tilts her head at you as Pete continues to mutter swears under her breath. I should introduce myself first, shouldn't I? My name is Loam. Loam. I'm sorry, I don't have a name I can share. She stands to leave. Is there something I can call you? Something other than Mouse? Pete moans in agony, but you don't let her distract you. You need to keep building trust or else you will both be killed. The mouse stares at you for a long while before turning away. I don't know. She opens the door, letting in the roar of heavy rainfall. I'll think of something for you. You yell after her as the door closes. You hope she thinks about it, too. Okay, so it seems like we're trying to build a friendship or something then. Pete isn't speaking to you again, but this time it's because she hasn't seemed to regain consciousness. Her body is alarmingly cold, but you think she still has a pulse. She isn't dead just yet. But you don't think you'll be able to escape with her anymore. You weren't counting on it to begin with, but it would have been nice not to be alone. You sigh. Your stomach is tearing itself apart with hunger. Saving... Can we talk to Pete? You know... You dressed unconscious, which, well, where did she won't respond? I think you're more guilty for where we've ended up. I've only been making the best of a bad situation. You understand it, right? I'm not someone who wish for you to die. Her silence pains you, so you try to put her out of your mind. Let's stretch our legs. You've been pacing around the room. You can't let your muscles atrophy before you can make a run for it. There isn't much space to walk around, though, and the more you move, the hungrier you feel. You look down at Pete. Pete? What the fuck? Her eyes are still closed. She almost looks peaceful. Let's think about names. A name for the faceless mouse. No, she isn't faceless, only masked. The group she's working for, the one that tells her not to talk to you, the one keeping her nameless and anonymized. Anonymized? Yes. The group is keeping her personhood from her. By giving her a name, you can work towards removing that mask. The door opens again. Each time it does, you brace yourself for a new mouse, a stranger, to walk through the door. You brace yourself for a strategy to be completely overturned, for your progress to be reset, and feel overcome with despair as the stranger drives their blade deep into your flesh to be cut into pieces. Bones discarded and carried out the metal pails just like moss. But you can tell it's her again today. The mouse who will help you escape from this place. Hood boots are drenched with rain. She doesn't bother to shake any of it off. Instead, she looks right at you and makes a small sound like she's smiling under the mask. It's how you want to be greeted, so it's what you imagine that sound must have meant. You smile back. Forgive me for speaking, but I've still been thinking of what to call you. I don't know what kinds of things you like, so, I mean, if I give you a name, I think it should be something you like. So, what do you... I do have a name. You pause, blinking twice. Yesterday you said you didn't, so I'm sorry, I've jumped to conclusions. The mouse kneels down in front of Pete and draws her knife. I can't share it. We are all given sacred names by the highest power. She makes her incision. You don't watch the blood leak from Pete's arm. You can only look at the mask. We're not supposed to share our sacred names, but I think it's okay if I tell you what my name means. Then you can call me something based on that. Does that work? She's making concessions to you. You're compromising. It's something small and trivial, but she's willing to negotiate with you, which means you still have a chance of negotiating your freedom. What does your sacred name mean? Water from the heavens, where the highest power lives. I'm proud of my name, so if you call me something like that, I'll be happy. She wipes her knife. Pete is still. Let's think of a name. Trying to think feels like wading through a deep pit of mud, but you finally land on something. Oh, that's a cute name. Little Raindrop. The mouse doesn't react, so you rush to explain. It's not a name, but a term of endearment, like sweetheart or pumpkin. Pumpkin? My grandmother used to call me that, back when I was a little tyke. Don't think about the way Pete reminds you of your late grandmother. How old are you, little Raindrop? She thinks for a moment. 16. Too young. It's far too young to be taking lives like this. Do you realize it's likely because she's so young that this group has been able to mold her into a killer? The mouse turns her attention back to the witch lying still on the floor beside you. It's hard to tell when a witch's heart has stopped beating. Can you help me again? You swallow hard and turn your head to finally face what's become of Pete. Sure. Day 6. Okay, I'm guessing we have 7 days in this game because it would just make sense. You sit on a blood-soaked floor with ropes tied loosely around your body, though not so loose that you could shuffle your way out of them. The other mice had apparently scolded a little Raindrop for leaving you unbound. It wasn't proper. She told you the highest power would be displeased and that she had no choice but to tie you up like before. Your eyelids are heavy. You feel hollow. Somehow you ended up making negative progress. Today, you're all alone. Let's think about what happened yesterday. After confirming Pete's death, after you laid your head on her chest, remembering the first time you heard her faint heartbeat, despite the pounding of your own, you listened for that sound as hard as you could. But it wasn't there. You felt like your heart might stop too. Instead, it continued beating, this pulsing inside your ribcage that you usually never paid any mind to. You cursed it for its diligence. Pete's body was dissected the same as Moss's, but you did only watch this time. Right, I helped. The raindrop chatted to you as she went about her business. The conversation took your mind off the things she asked you to do. Her commands you obeyed without much hesitation. You're out of your mind. But everything you've been doing, all your efforts, everything you've done is in order for you to escape and survive this ordeal. Wait, okay, small theory. What if by the end of this I will become part of their fucking cult? Like I will get indoctrinated by it, you know? Because I've already been helping so much. I could imagine that. You have to survive this. Let's try to free ourselves. You squirm lazily in place on the floor, but the ropes don't give an inch. You want to cry, but you're already dehydrated. You want to go home, but you can't leave this room. You want to die, but only if it will be painless. You don't want to bleed like Moss and Pete did. You don't want to be reduced to chunks of meat and forgotten. Oh damn, it looks different. It's late when the mouse arrives. So late that you almost believed she wouldn't come today. You're a raindrop. Hello. The candlelight reflects off of her mask, a terrifying figure. You smile weakly. I'm here because I was able to sneak away with some leftovers. Oh, she's so nice though. Food? She brought you food. She's still on your side, you little raindrop from the heavens. She came here because she didn't want you to starve. Is it really okay to be giving me your food? I hope you've already eaten your fill. She kneels down in front of you, presenting a bowl of stew. I think I know what the stew is made of. We're having 3 feasts in a row, so I don't mind sharing some. 3 feasts? Because of 3 people, 3 victims? Thank you, little raindrop. The sound comes from behind the mask, as if she's smiling at you again. You want to believe that. I can't untie you, so I'll feed you myself. She holds up a spoonful of the dark stew, your eyes linger on the chunks of meat. It's Pete. Pete is in there. I fucking knew it. 2. Safe. I will eat. You're doing what you have to in order to survive. It would be all meaningless if you were to die here like this. That's why you have to do whatever it takes. Day 11. Oh, it's not 7 days. I fucked up. Okay, my vision becomes more and more distorted. For 5 days, your little raindrop came to visit and made small horizontal incisions across your wrists. You bled as you chatted with her. You continue to chat in order to take your mind off the pain. You think you're probably going to hell. There are all sorts of conceptions of hell in the cultures you've studied, be they cold, fury, transient purgatory, or a realm of eternal punishment. You weren't sure you believed in hell before now, but being faced with the imminent death, you want to believe there must be some kind of afterlife. You can't imagine whatever's next would be a peaceful paradise with your family, your ancestors happily waiting there for you. Surely some kind of retribution is coming for a coward like yourself. Let me turn on the music a bit. What's being done to you now, it isn't enough. The blood coagulates, the wound scabs over, a fresh incision is made. Maybe the only part of you that will ever escape this place is what's already flowed down the drain. But each time the door opens, a little seed of hope is planted. She's here again. She smiles to greet you. Okay, let's save. Talk about your journal, talk about your field of study, as to release, stop talking for a day. Let's talk about my journal. Oh, she's so cute. Little raindrop asks you to tell another story from your journal. Carry it with you on all your field adventures. A record full of notes on ancient civilizations, things you've learned from various tribes in the region, and little things about the ways of life that had fascinated you. Anthropology is a broad subject. There are so many exciting things to learn. You've shared some of those things with this mouse, who seems to match your excitement and interest in the wider world. She's never left this village, so it's no surprise she would feel that way. When you finish your story, she seems no closer to releasing you. You can feel your story sway her heart, but still, she does not budge. Talk about your field of study. You explain to a little raindrop that you traveled here on a research expedition. When she asks about the purpose of your research, you realized Pete's photography would communicate it most clearly, so you had her dig into which backpack to uncover a photo book. Wait, I will take a screenshot real quick, because maybe this will become the thumbnail. Okay. Pete, Was such an unpleasant person to be around, but her talents were unmatched. Seeing her photography again brings you to tears. You have to stop looking. The ropes around your body might be the only thing holding you together. Let's ask to be released. You've tried to lead a conversation towards your escape many times. You've even offered to take the little raindrop with you to show her the world. But there's only so hard you can push. The other mice tell her that the outside world is full of dangers. Yeah, that's kind of true, sadly. You've tried to show her that it's instead full of wonders. Ironically, it is your wanderlust that has landed you in this danger. But it doesn't have to be true for this mouse. She doesn't have the courage to flee. You fear no longer have the strength. So you admit defeat. Let's stop talking for today. Okay. Another day goes by, bleeding and talking late into the night. The little raindrop yawns, then carefully picks up her candle. I'd better go to bed. You don't want her to leave. You don't want her to be left alone another night in this dark, horrible, blood-stained room. Good night, Loam. See you tomorrow. You offer a weak good night and close your eyes. You don't know how much longer you will last. Day 13. You're feeling more lucid today. The hopelessness has left you. You think it's probably your body's last hurrah. Your grandmother was like that too, the day she passed. You wonder if dying bodies can feel the expiration date coming on. You thought you'd be scared, but really, you spent these past 2 weeks in total fear. You're overdue for a sense of peace. Okay, I'm ready. She raises the knife to your arm and waits for your approval. She'll be forced to reopen an older wound with how many cuts have been left there. Why does it all fall on you signaling to go ahead? To make this whole thing feel like a slow suicide. It's enough to make you laugh, but the corners of your mouth only curl slightly at the thought before relaxing back in place. In the end, you do give her a nod and she cuts, and you bleed. You are so cold, but you didn't even have the energy to shiver. You wish she had brought a blanket, but you can't ask for that now. You don't want to open your eyes again. You thought for a moment that you didn't want to, but... Little raindrop. Could you take off your mask? She hesitates. My mask? Why? I've never seen your face. I'd like to see it once, before it's too late. Okay. Oh my god, she's adorable. You stare at her for a moment. In this light, you are almost unsure, but there really is a person under there, not some monster. You're worried you might only be fooling yourself, believing she was a victim like you. She's still a child whose view of the world has been warped in such a way that brings harm to others. She can't see the damage she's done. She hasn't had to comprehend it for being put into a situation. Such beautiful round eyes. Oh, your eyes are nice too. You're able to muster a real laugh this time. You have to say more than that. Listen, little raindrop, once you prepare my body for the feast, we won't be able to talk anymore. That's okay. The feast is what is important. It's a great honor to be offered up by the highest power. You were chosen. There wasn't enough time. Couldn't get through to her. There was never going to be a way to untangle those immoral beliefs of hers overnight. But if you leave it like this, she may never break free from them. Use all that's left of your strength to lean forward, letting your head fall onto her lap. Please learn everything you can about the world, little raindrop. This highest powers of yours isn't the only power that exists. It isn't the only way. She doesn't say anything. You continue. I'm sorry, I've only ever said things must sound like sacrilege to you, but I hope you can understand it one day. Come to understand and escape from this place. That is my wish for you. You close your eyes again. You pray to every power you can think of to please let this mouse escape. Part 1. End. After the feast that day, I thought the highest power wouldn't be passing down any more blessings for a while. 3 at once had been a lot of work. I had only ever managed 2 at a time before. I thought maybe the highest power was pleased with how well it went, and that's why it sent us a 4th. I hoped this new offering was as nice as you were. If so, I'd go with the slow draining method again. Oh, who's it gonna be? I knew I wasn't supposed to talk to them. Means that to be eaten, not spoken with. That's the rule. By the way, I think we're from the mouse's perspective now. But the monkey was wide awake when I came in to such a draining ritual. I wanted to see if she was as nice a person like you were alone. I had a lot of fun talking to you, so I wondered if other outsiders would share their stories with me like you did. She said she was a member of a search party that was sent out to look for a group of researchers who disappeared in the rainforest a month ago. A witch called Pete, a local rat who was hired as the guide and the leader of the expedition, an anthropologist. Loam. I was happy to hear someone else say your name. I was happy to be able to talk to someone who knew about you, because I couldn't explain all that stuff to any of my brothers without getting in trouble. But when I told the monkey that you and the others were already offered by the highest power for the feast, and that she didn't need to look for you anymore, she got really upset. Outsiders always have trouble accepting the highest power's will. They can't comprehend the honors being bestowed onto them. She struggled a lot, and I wasn't able to use the knife because of that. I'm the only one assigned to a dining preparation house right now, so it's up to me to carry out the ritual. I had to come back later at night when she had calmed down. Things proceeded normally after that. I didn't try talking to her again. Let's think about Loam. But that's me. I wish you would stop cutting me. Your words made her hesitate back then. You were always doing me favors, so for a moment I wanted to do as you asked. I shook my head. I have to do it. I was telling you that you have to do it, little raindrop. Well, it's in preparation for the feast. I have to follow the steps. Even if what you're doing is wrong. You kept saying things like that, and I didn't like how it made me feel, so I rejected it. It isn't wrong. I'm doing it properly. I wiped the knife clean, and when I looked back at you, you had such a sad expression. Killing people, cutting them up like this, it's always wrong. There's no justification that could ever make it right. Do you know why? I knew I couldn't trust anything outsiders had to say, but I was curious to hear reasons, so I asked. Why? Because life is precious. Each one of us is given only one life, and when it ends, that person is gone forever. It's a loss you can never get back, not even with magic. That's why you mustn't do things that end others' life. It's wrong, because it takes something away from the world that can never be returned. I tilted my head and thought, but you had me before, unless that doesn't count? After that, you went quiet and didn't look at me anymore. I wonder why. Once the training ritual was finished, it was time to get the monkey's body ready for the feast. I had trouble moving it like usual, and I wanted to ask for your help, but dining preparation is my responsibility, so my brothers aren't allowed to enter the house. I try to move the bodies, even though they are heavy, because it's easier to work at the table. I've been doing it since I was 13, so I have a system. Usually, I'll move them a piece at a time, but it's messy to do the cutting on the floor, so I end up doing bigger pieces. When you offered to help, I thought it was lucky because I would save me a lot of time and energy. Let me focus on the next step, and I even felt refreshed by the end of it. Mercy from the highest power, who knew I had 3 feasts to help prepare. But you're not here anymore. I wouldn't have any help when I had to move you, and when I realized that, I felt a little sad. Every offering from then on, I'd have to go back to moving it all on my own. Thinking of it as another trial from the highest power sort of helped to ease my mind though. After finishing my work, I'd sit outside in the rain and gaze up at the sky. No one would call me Little Raindrop anymore. I kept thinking things like that and remembered when you told me about how each life was precious. But there wasn't any way around it. You were an offering sent by highest power. I couldn't have let you go. During the next feast, I felt kind of sick, so I couldn't eat very much. I prayed to the highest power, hoping it would send some kind of sign and clear away my doubts, but I don't think it heard my prayer. My brothers encouraged me to keep praying and told me I would feel better soon, so that's what I did. Stop praying. Next time an offering was sent, I couldn't bring myself to drive the knife into their body. I had been reading your journal a lot and kept thinking about everything you wrote in there. We aren't supposed to read books the highest power doesn't approve of, but I figured a handwritten journal doesn't really count as a book, so it was okay. But the more I read, it just felt so sad I couldn't ask you to explain things to me, because you were gone. I felt sad I was already starting to forget the things you did explain, the stories you told that weren't written in the journal. Okay, shit, I'm trying to control myself not to cry right now, because this is kind of getting me. And since I felt stuck and couldn't do my work like usual, I ended up untying the ropes. I locked the door for them, and they ran outside right away. The others caught them, of course, and they were brought back and tied up again. You really dropped the ball this time. The highest power would have been so unhappy with us if we lost the offering. I nodded, feeling ashamed. Well, no harm done. The feast must go on. The He patted me on the back with words of encouragement, but I knew I would have to return to my work after that. I knew I was going to have to take another life. I'm not feeling well today. Do you think someone else could do this in my place? You've been saying that a lot lately, but we're all busy with our own tasks. You really aren't feeling well today, then don't push yourself. Come back to it tomorrow. Sure, you'll be blessed with a speedy recovery in order to get the job done in time for the feast, brother. We're all counting on you. Okay, I'll rest for the day. I felt guilty for slacking off when everyone else was working so hard. I'd always been pretty diligent because the highest power smiles upon diligent mice the most. I wanted to be smiled upon. I started to think that the reason I was feeling bad was because I kept bending the rules. But what was I doing so wrong? I knew I shouldn't have left an offering go. It was like I was rejecting the highest power's divine will. But when I thought about going through with the whole preparation process again, I wanted to run away from it all. Follow that feeling. I mentioned I'd been reading your journal a lot, but actually I've been writing in it too. There were a lot of blank pages left over. I hope you don't mind me using them. You didn't get a chance to write anything about my village, so I thought I'd write about what life is like here instead. Each of us has a job to do. Farm work, cooking, laundry. The highest power assigns us a sacred task, and the village will prosper as long as those tasks are fulfilled. We wear the same clothes, eat the same things, share the same beds, and put on the same masks. Our masks are symbol of the highest power. We wear them to reflect its image so that it knows we are its servants. Questioning the highest power is dangerous because it means we could lose its protection. I want our village to be protected, so I wasn't able to question it before. But your writing and your stories, you helped me look at things in a new way. If outsiders don't have the protection of the highest power, then how do all the thriving cities you told me about really exist? Is it possible to live a good life while abandoning our sacred tasks? I was too afraid to find out, so I picked up the knife and did what I was supposed to do. I don't think I ever told you this, but someone else was assigned this task before me, an older brother. He was killed and the offering escaped. I was the one the highest power chose to replace him. It was hard work, but I was happy to have a purpose. I was happy to be chosen back then. But now, I think you were right, that life is precious. You're gone and you will never come back. And it wasn't just you. How much has been lost from this world with every feast? I started to feel worse and worse about taking part in it. I stopped eating the meat, but I couldn't get out of fulfilling my task, unless I were to go somewhere outside the highest power's reach. One night, I cut a hole in the chain-link fence and stepped outside the village for the first time. I looked past the thick canopy to the vast, starry sky and felt so small. I thought about the scary stories I've been told, what happens to mice in the outside world. If I continued beyond that fence, I'd be entering the realm of dangerous predators who would eat mice without a second thought. Maybe that's why my village became what it is, a place where, instead, mice are the ones to feast on others. All while under protection of the highest power. Man, I'm so rooting for her right now. I stood under the stars for a long time to see if I would be able to endure it. Then I retreated back to the safety of my village. Oh fuck. Think about Loam. Why won't you listen to me? It was the first and only time you ever raised your voice at me. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I'm not feeling well, so I shouldn't take it out on you. It isn't your fault, I just really want to go home. You have to stay, for the feast. You buried your face in your knees and let out a muffled scream. That scream became sobs, then whimpers. I'm sorry, it's so hard not to break down. I was surprised by the way your voice cracked as you spoke. You were making a lot of noise I didn't expect from you. So not knowing what else to do, I tried reaching out and patting your shoulder. There. My words worked like a charm. You stopped whimpering. Accept. Understand it now. It wasn't acceptance. It was resignation. You felt resigned to your fate. It was painful having to die, but you knew you couldn't avoid it. So you endured the pain as best as you could up to the very end. That's what I'm doing now, so I understand, Loam. 2 years later. I thought about leaving for so long. What always stopped me was, I still felt like I didn't know anything about the outside world. If I really ran away, where would I sleep? What would I eat? Would anyone protect me? I collected all the information I could. I talked to so many outsiders over the past 2 years. When I could get away with it, I would bring them to the hole I made in the fence and push them through. I turned away more and more of these so-called offerings from the highest power, but I was never punished for it. I don't think the highest power really cares anymore, if it ever did to begin with. Something new that occurred to me was, leaving meant I wouldn't be able to help anyone else escape. Both the outsiders would get drawn in for the feast and my brothers. My sacred task would be reassigned to the next available mouse. But I realized if I kept worrying about that, I'd be trapped here continuing to take the lives of others until the day I died. You didn't want that for me, did you, Lom? This way, quickly. Last person I helped escape was a wolf. I'd never met a wolf before. The smile, filled with kindness, reminded me of yours. It's not often that people give someone like me a warm welcome. It was nice while it lasted. I couldn't tell if they understood what the feast was. They seemed pretty naive, but here they were, traveling the world despite that. You've been to many places, haven't you? I've always thought about going far away, but I've been too scared. Although, if someone like you managed to survive, I could probably... Someone like me? Am I getting picked on? Sorry, thanks. Because of you, I feel like I can go far too. I gathered my courage while I waited for nightfall. With a small bag of supplies and your journal in hand, I faced the same exit that I pushed so many outsiders through. I still felt so uncertain, but it was time. Finally, escape. I slipped past the fence as quietly as I could and made my way into the rainforest. I used the map you had tucked inside your journal. My village wasn't marked on there, but I knew I'd be able to find my way. I'll travel far, far away from this place and meet all sorts of people and learn all sorts of new and wonderful things. I'll record everything I can in this journal for you, and I won't have to hurt anyone ever again. I'll be an outsider too from now on. I discarded my mask, ran as fast as I could, and thought about what name I'll ask to be called from now on. Wow. Game by Nom Nom Nami. Special thanks. Oh. Fuck. Made with Ren Pie. End. Okay. This game... Thank you for playing. This game really is a heavy hitter. I expected like a bit horror, somewhat gory shit, like I have to escape and I'm gonna be like strong and kill my captors or something. But no. I actually befriended someone. I actually managed to see life from another side, from a side of how it is for someone who was indoctrinated since they were born, who lived like this since forever, who knew nothing else, couldn't do anything else. So this game really touched me. That's something weird to say. This game really touched my feelings. Like, I just didn't expect it, but it was written so well. It had so many great emotional story beats, and I just loved the characters. Like, I loved the little mouse, I loved the little raindrop. I probably won't forget this game for a long while, so really thank you for making this game. It was absolutely fantastic, I loved it. The music was extremely well made as well, it just fit, and the art was beautiful. So yeah, that was Escape from Wormwood. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you soon again. Bye bye.